What's up, G's? It's like story time. I'm trying a new angle this time. Kind of like this one better. I've got more stuff in the background and shit. This is my pin board. It's got all my pins on it. Got this picture I drew. Got this calendar I commissioned. Got my number one role model up here. A very bad man. And it's got some Zelda shit. I love Zelda shit. It's real expansive, real free. Going on adventures and beating Ganon and shit. But I had a story today. That's why I titled this story time. And that was how Instagram opened my eyes. Like using Instagram opened my eyes to something that I never even thought of before. Like I'd never even considered this thing before. And it's a nice story, and I like it because I know there's a lot of other people in the world who have probably had similar experiences to me in the past, and this one experience of mine blew away my preconceptions. Um, so here we go. A long time ago, once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, a young, handsome, respected, kind hearted young man named Mikey was on an adventure throughout Japan. And on his adventure, he was looking for or taking a keen interest in art supplies because he likes drawing pictures. And Japan is a great place for art supplies, if you can read Japanese, that is. So I was going through the art store and I found this book, and I can't show you all of the book, but I'll show you a bit of it. It's bim, 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 bim. The Way of Drawing Tentacles. How to draw tentacles in good English. And when I saw this book, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, like this is like do you know do you know I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Like I couldn't believe there was a book for this, you know? Um a really specific kind of thing, very Japanese, and I thought to myself, oh my god, this is going to be the one time. Like, this is the one time I'm going to see this book. Imagine how rare it is. Imagine how few white people have seen this book. This is amazing. I need it. I need this book. So, without thinking, I grabbed the book, ran up to the, ran up to the counter, and I'd actually like the books in Japan come in like a plastic wrap, so you couldn't read them. You can't read them, and I like ripped off the plastic wrap and started reading it in the store before I decided I'd buy it. So I ran up to her, and she was like, "Would you like it rewrapped, sir?" And I was like, "Do your thing, man. I just want this book." So she went off and she rewrapped it. She gave it to me. It had this brand new looking How to Draw Tentacles book, and I ran to the nearest internet cafe, because that's where I was sleeping at the time, in internet cafes, and I whipped out this book and started reading it, and I was just like absorbing the information like has anyone seen that movie with the robot and he doesn't know about love, and he like opens the books and he's like and he like gets the information. That was me, but with tentacle porn. Tentacle porn creation instructions. Make your own tentacle porn. And yeah, like I kind of took all of those ideas and I tried to create something with him in that night before I went to bed. So I drew a kind of crude, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad either, but it wasn't a great picture of this girl kind of being eaten by this giant Venus flytrap. She's like, oh, like this, and there's this like flytrap around her and just, you know, tentacles and shit, and it's all furry and weird. And, you know, I thought it was quite cool. And and I posted it on Instagram, which, just FYI, a little bit of backstory. I created Instagram last year in January, so a bit over a year ago now. And the reason why I created an account was because I was moving to Japan and I wanted a new social media, so that I could use for my Japanese friends, because I have a Facebook account, but I don't really like using Facebook because it's just got too many people on it from too many different parts of my life where I was like a different person. So I don't feel like I have an audience. You know, I don't feel like if I make a post on Facebook, who am I posting to? Is like a real like, well, I don't know who I'm posting to. So this Instagram thing was a opportunity for me to retake social media and make it mine again, like allow it to serve a purpose for me rather than it just being something that I have for no reason or for very little use to me, um, and that's like an important point, things like smartphones, PCs, social media, are they serving you or are you their slave? Something to always think about. But back to the story. And so I was talking to this girl online at the time. Like I'd been talking to her for a bit, and I was like, "Hey, I just posted a new drawing on Instagram. Why don't you go look at it?" And she saw it, and I was expecting her to be like, "Okay, haha," you know. Um, I knew she was quite into me, so I didn't like it. I knew it wouldn't be like a game breaking thing, but I like to live dangerously, to say the least. So I was like, go look at it, and I expected like oh, haha, it's kind of cool, but she went ballistic. She was like, oh my god, this is so good, Mikey, you're like an artist, wow, and that was like shocking because I was like, this is a bit like misogynistic, like that was the first thing that I thought anyway. I've my views on women's sexuality have changed since then, and really actually kind of because of that and a few other key experiences, how women view other women is really interesting to me, or became interesting to me after this and some other experiences, but that's a story for another time. She was like amazed, so I started posting similar things on Instagram because this is the kind of thing I like to draw anyway. I like to draw very like lewd erotic women, and so I started just posting those pictures on Instagram, that I drew, and I started tagging them as well. That wasn't something I wasn't doing before, was tagging them, but now I started tagging them, and I was surprised by the amount of girls that liked the pictures I drew. Way more than 50%, maybe 80, 70, maybe even 90% sometimes, 20, 30 likes per picture of like nude erotic women with their tits out and shit. All girls liking them, even stuff with like tentacles slithering all over them, and stuff like that. All girls like them, as in all of the likes were by girls. Not every single girl likes them, but all of the likes came from women, or at least like 90% of them, which blew my mind because I always saw anime porn as like a boy thing, and I suppose anime porn kind of is a boy thing, but like erotic pictures of girls are not just a boy thing. There's something that can be appreciated by a lot of different people because the nuance of the picture carries an emotion which is going to be reciprocated by other people in their own unique way. And the naked female body is something that, in the right context, many, many people can relate to. Do you know what I mean? So, there's that. But at the time, like, I didn't think of it like that. I was always, like, told, like, oh, like, naked pictures of women, they're for men and bisexual girls. Um, Tentacle porn is, like, for anime loser nerds who can't get laid. And so that was really mind opening for me. And then after that, like after I noticed all the girls were liking these pictures, etc., that was a conduit for me to be way more open about myself because first of all, anime porn is a huge part of my life, like it or not, it is. And I feel a lot of emotions, around the subject, and I've developed in ways. I mean, look at my fucking where is it? There he is. Rance. Rance is a hentai game protagonist. It's like my number one role model comes from anime porn. So there's like a lot going on there. And when I realized I could express this side of myself to people, it opened up a giant cavern of other things that I could express to people. And that, for me, made socializing really easy because the one weirdest thing about me, the one strangest thing, which I think is probably much stranger than other people's really strange thing, unless it's like weird, deviant sexual shit, in which case they probably I don't know how they relate. I don't know how people relate to that. Like I don't know if the most important thing in their life. I've got friends who like a weird sexual thing is the most important thing in their life, but I also have a lot of friends with sex is just this fun thing, that they experience sometimes. So we're all different. But yeah, that opened a giant cavern to allow me to just like realize that people could find mutual understanding with me on topics that were unique, seemingly unique to me. Do you know what I mean? So now I can like draw my pictures of weird anime tentacle porn and people can look at that and be like, wow, that's amazing. I feel so much emotion from this and I love it. And And that's like a big contrast to, oh my god, this is some disgusting tentacle porn that this horny boy drew, which is how I kind of expected people to um, relate to it. And this like gave me the confidence to share my everyday life with people. So recently I drew this picture, and we'll see if I can find it for you. And this picture was yeah, here it is, the page I opened. Bam! There it is. And that picture I had wanted to draw for a whole year, but I was never good enough at drawing. So when I did draw it, I posted it on my Instagram stories, and I was like, I've wanted to draw this picture for over a year, but I was never good enough. And I had this conception that everyone who saw that story would continue watching my stories afterwards, that they wouldn't make them not want to watch them anymore. And I was right, you know? And then I was talking to my friend about it the other day, and she was like to me, oh my god, you're so brave. But, and this is the important thing, it wasn't bravery, it was me using what I'd learnt about the world to interact with the world. So I'd like moved the boundary forward by realizing that there was never a boundary to begin with. Isn't that amazing? So that's how Instagram changed my life, and I've got actually 6 seconds left on my phone, and this video is just going to end. So I'm just going to let that run and